perfect and innocent light of God's creation. To accept that you are perfect and that you are innocent, and at the same time you are the light of God. All that is one truth. And in that truth is your destiny, the destiny of your divine self that is in this moment and has been for all eternity perfect, whole, and who and what you are in this moment. For all the beloveds who don't recognize the innocence and the light and the perfection, the first embrace is to accept that even if you're not aware of this perfection, it is still who you are. It is still what you are. Your awareness of your holiness isn't necessary for that holiness to be all that there is. The belief of being separate and damaged and different is a temptation that occurs in the everyday life through all different kinds of evidence. It seems so strange to realize that as we walk in the world in the state of believing in separation, that there is so much fear of accepting your holy perfection. But it is here to be accepted. Because the acceptance of your perfection is a place of humility. It is the acceptance of the brilliance that God has made you. Everything of love is brilliant. Everything of love is perfect. And you are that. Not the you that believes in separation, but the divine I am that cannot die and cannot be changed into anything but the perfect light. So the journey of love is to unlearn the false identity and to accept and embrace your true self. As you embrace your true self, the you actually falls away and the oneness is recognized. Every beloved that has ever walked the earth, every creature, every element of life is what you are. Again, just the acceptance is the first leap of faith. Everyone in humanity has cried a lot and lamented the identity that was being held, carried around in pain and suffering. But after the lamenting comes the opportunity to realize, to accept that no pain and no suffering is called for in any way. Allow your heart to open and be that exquisite light. And as you accept the exquisite light within, you choose. And you can choose to walk in the flowers with the Divine Mother. To rest and accept the comfort of the truth of who you are. The comfort of who you truly are is a place that is beyond the imaginings of an oasis. To truly accept the light within, to embrace the light, is to walk among the flowers with all divine beings, with all the beauty of creation. The journey of love. It isn't meant to be fearful. It isn't meant to be difficult. Let your heart sing. And accept that only love is real. Allow yourself to be comforted beyond anything that you have received from comfort from before, but the comfort that you are eternal. And that even if you do not recognize the light within, all of love does and holds that truth for you. And in this heart of humanity, there is a complete awareness of your exquisite perfection. And it is held, joyously held. Ready for your remembering. In this moment, find within your heart the willingness to embrace that the entire universe is love and light. That this sanctuary is filled with love because it is all that is truly in existence. There is only one presence here. It is the life force of God. That life force of God is within you, waiting to be activated as the heart expands and becomes undefended. Love says, yes. Only love. This hymn is a hymn that speaks of the humility of being taught how to love. It's so much easier to come to the spiritual journey with the willingness that I'm willing to be taught the truth of love. I don't know the truth of love. I have believed many things about love, but now being ready to be in the teaching schoolroom of learning to love, to go into the depths of the exquisite fullness, all-encompassing brilliance of love. Mother, oh my mother, please come here, please, and teach this child of yours, to teach this child of yours, who doesn't yet know how to love, who doesn't yet know how to love. Mother, Queen Mother, I ask with all my heart, please send your angels, please send your angels to teach me how to love, to teach me how to love. Teach me to love. More than likely, nowhere in the past of your life did you ever conceive of the possibility of praying and asking to be taught how to love. And yet, this is where we all meet in the schoolroom to learn the truth of love. As we ask to be taught the truth of love, the life that you believed was solid in your identity begins to shift and change and open in different ways. And all of this shifting and changing is all part of the divine healing power of God. When you asked to be taught the truth of love, you open doorways and windows that allows all the divine beings to bring truth to you and to teach you in the everyday life how to love and how to be that love. And with that, transformation comes. And many times in that transformation, there is a sense of being in the fever of love, where ideas of the past are burning up and the heart is burning open and resistance is burning away. In the fever of love, I am here to consecrate that I must forever learn to love and be that love. In the fever of love, we have come to consecrate and give birth to each other and to every beloved, forever learning to love each other as one. With all divine beings united in this truth of love, with all divine beings in the heart and in our minds, open and learning, going into the heart We fix ourselves in humility and forgiveness. These are the doors that open the way to the truth of love. We simply pay attention. We let go of all personal identity, and we extend our hands and our hearts into the oneness of the holy union of love. My Divine Father and my Mother, you hold my hand through this journey of love. And I learn with you, and I know that I will be forever with you. I will find you forever here with me as I say yes. My Divine Mother, I ask for your blessing. Show me the way to have love in my heart, and never to fall down again, never to stray again from the truth of love. But in the light of the truth of vision, you show me the way. You help me as I walk this journey of love, and I open and I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy in my heart. My Father, I thank you for giving me your hand and leading me. You give me your hand as I walk toward the light of love. My Father, here I give you my life and my heart. This is a time for union, a time for love, a time for purification, and the trusting in the wholeness of love itself. I am with you. You are the one who holds me in this world of illusion. I thank you, my Mother, for the grace of healing. The prayers of love have no limitation. Imagine that when you open in prayer, that you realize how you can say anything in that place of prayer. You can reveal your secrets that have been held, that everybody has, and you can give them to God. And there won't be anything in any secrets that anybody has that will be held as anything but just the illusion of separation, and can so easily be let go and be completely healed. There is nothing in the truth of God that does not bless and only see the light that you are. You can't be anything else but that truth of love. The love that is all that there is. Here I am declaring the love within my heart. Here I want to affirm the love of our Divine Mother. Here we are together in this school of love. As we all give thanks to all divine beings, we are here in the light of our Divine Mother. And I'm here to praise and never to aggrandize myself. I'm small. In the past, I have seen myself as small in the size of love, but within the truth of this light, I am one in the great love, to love together with all beloveds, all of us praising God, healing as we are receiving, opening the heart, loving, and giving thanks. Eu aqui vou seguindo, declarando o amor dentro do meu coração. Eu aqui quero afirmar o amor de nossa mãe, para sempre eu amar. Aqui, na escola do amor, eu venho agradecer a todos os seres divinos, dentro da luz de nossa Mãe, para sempre vou levar e nunca me agradecer. Aqui dentro do poder, devemos agradecer a nosso Pai e nossa Mãe, as curas que vamos recebendo dentro do coração, amando e agradecendo. When I first began being aware of these hymns and learning these hymns and entering into these hymns, one of the elements that I was so struck with, that was so foreign, was giving thanks, was the gratitude. It wasn't that I didn't know or hadn't heard about gratitude, but it was not something very familiar. To open to gratitude is to see everything differently, to see through the blessings of connection, the gratitude of the realization that we were not right in the past. If that was the only gratitude, that would be a transformation of the universe. To be so grateful that the concept of who you thought you were, so grateful that it wasn't the truth. And to truly accept your exquisite self. And that exquisite self doesn't get earned. It doesn't matter what your life looked like, what you thought you did, what you conceived of in your mind in the past, the judgments, the opinions, the condemnations, the fears, all of it, none of it has any meaning. It's all to be surrendered and just unburdened. And that it never changed the truth of who you are. It couldn't. The guarantee of God is in your perfect nature. It cannot be changed. It cannot be altered by an illusion. And that is the most grateful place of all. Thank God. Only love is real. Thank God. Being right means nothing. Thank God. There is only love. She responded, "The birds' favorite songs you do not hear, for their most flamboyant music takes place when their wings are stretched above the trees, and they are smoking the opium of pure freedom. It is healthy for the prisoner to have faith that one day he will again move about and feel the wondrous grid of life less structured, less imprisoned. And he will find all his wounds and debts stamped, canceled, and paid. I once asked a bird, "How is it that you fly in this gravity of darkness?" And she responded, "Love lifts me." That is the simplicity of healing. Love lifts you. It's just allowing the love to lift you, being available for that love. You would think it would be so easy to be available for love. Like, what would possibly deter anyone from accepting love? But fear is a strange companion. It pops up in 1,000 different ways to distract and shake you up. But it doesn't have to be listened to, and at some point, the ruse is recognized. There's going to be a point, and sometimes it comes in several points, where the thoughts come, the fear comes within the feelings or the energy body or whatever, and all of a sudden, instead of going into the old pattern of whatever it is, you stop. You go, not this time. Not this time. I don't want to play the game anymore. And the realization comes that you are so held and that you have so much strength in the truth, in love, and in all the divine beings that are surrounding you, that you can be like the bird and let love lift you. It isn't a theory. It's connecting with your divine nature. A nature that you forgot because it was sleeping. That's why they call it waking up, because you go from a sleeping state of, we can call it ignorance, into waking up out of the illusion and embracing all that is. Their flamboyant music takes place when their wings are stretched above the trees. This truth is to call you to hear, not necessarily with your ears, but with your spirit. Sometimes it comes through the ears too, but it doesn't have to. That you can enter into the stillness with all creation and hear and commune with the perfection of love, because it's who you are. You don't need a permission slip to connect. All of love is holding the space for you to come and play, to come and commune in love. It's just letting go of the fear of that divine intimacy, the fear of losing control. But in truth, there is nothing to control. Absolutely nothing to control. Everybody has seen those refrigerator magnets or little stickers that say, truly, you can leave it to God. He can handle your life. He's handling the universe. He can handle your life. And you can accept and hold the hand of love and be led. And that love will never turn on you. It will never be a traitor. Love has nothing in it that does not want to give grace and blessings and all the totality of true love. There is no gain except on the side of the belief of separation. I read a quote that was so beautiful that I had to write it so that I could repeat it. It was a quote actually from a political, I guess you could call him an activist. He's now has political office, but he speaks many times and you can feel the heart vibrate in what he offers. Before you speak to me about your spiritual path, first show it to me in how you treat others. Before you tell me how much you love God, show me in how much you love all his children. Before you preach to me of your passion for your faith, teach me about it through your compassion for your neighbors. In the end, I'm not as interested in what you have to tell me or sell me as in how you choose to live and give. This is the basic principle of love, that there is no spiritual journey in theory. It has no purpose in theory. It has to really be lived. It has to be embraced because the teachings themselves don't do anything unless you embrace them and live them. It doesn't matter what the teaching is. To speak of love to anyone is to demonstrate love. To demonstrate something as simple as patience is an offering of peace and of harmony and of a deep commitment to love. How can patience be demonstrated? All day, probably, but it's particularly such a beautiful place because it shows and demonstrates your trust. When there is patience, it's saying, I can rest here. I don't have to battle. Everything moves in its own perfection, and I don't know necessarily what's most helpful here. But I can be at peace, and I can offer that peace. And I can even bring that peace to others who might be tempted to be impatient also. I can bring love to every situation in every day. And that is the calling of your own healing. To walk in this world and actually have a such a deep commitment and a deep devotion to non-judgment. Non-judgment is a full-time job, truly, because it touches everything. It begins with the teachings of unraveling, of accepting teachings that pronounce and call you to the realization that you've given everything all the meaning that it has. And how is that possible? If you've given everything all the meaning that it has, it hasn't open to the truth of love. It's personal. It's a personal way of looking at the world. So love is calling to the full-time job of non-judgment, no opinions. That would mean that you would never judge yourself again. You would never have those thoughts that run so easily that say, oh, why didn't you do this better? You should have done it this way. Why did you drop that glass? All of the self-judgment that goes on, those are just the little bitty ones, but that can go on all the time. And then it's extended to others. But it's a full-time job to surrender the judgments and to embrace the learning of patience, which is trust. The learning of kindness, the learning of blessing, and of seeing everyone as the light of God. Every day, your whole day is full of opportunities, as everyone's is. It is a very painful place to carry judgment, because it has within it, the judgment has within it a criticism. To judge something is to criticize it as not up to whatever idea there is of how things should be. But to enter into the truth of what is here right now, which is all love, it's to realize that there's nothing to judge, because you're being called to enter and be in the light of love with all love. And what could there possibly be in judgment? Every beloved, in the throes of judgment, self-judgment and judgment of others, there's a belief in judgment that you need to judge. I mean, this is part of the belief that you actually need to judge. You need to judge and bring judgment to yourself in order to improve yourself. That you improve through judgment, through criticism, through self-criticism. None of that is true. There is no judgment in God. Imagine that your whole being can transform, and that everything that comes into your mind is kind. Everything is loving and gentle and generous and open and accepting. That's who you are. That's the light that shines within the world. And that's the light that draws beloveds to you, because they recognize that light, even just so dimly, they recognize that light. It is a full-time job to surrender judgment. We were trained well in the ways of the ego. And it is not a disloyalty to surrender all of the past and all of the beliefs that there is anything to judge. And that you are willing to embrace the way of God, which is to love. To love completely, and to realize that it is only your own thoughts that cause pain. You may think that pain is caused by things outside, but in truth, it's the interpretation of what you believe is outside that is actually still the cause of the pain, which is the mind. So you have the power to reject the pain as not true. It is only your own thoughts that can cause pain. And God is calling you to no longer judge, and the pain will disappear. The pain will really disappear. And the light will not only find you, but you will find the light. Because there won't be a barrier of judgment that says that I'm not good enough. I'm not healed enough. No judgment. We are not the deciders on what healing there needs to be, what we have to let go of. But the Holy Spirit shows that so easily and so compassionately, and will lead you in every moment. Pain is a sure sign that illusions reign instead of truth, and that's the same teaching again as the judgment. Because illusions are all judgment. There's really nothing else to them except judgment and opinions and assessments, because they actually don't exist. But judgment holds them in place in the belief that there is reality in them, when there truly isn't. In this teaching, before you tell me how much you love God, show me in how much you love all His children. This is the way. There is a place of praise. There is a place of devotion and exclaiming the love that you have of God. But it really is, to express that love is to express it to all beloveds, to see the light of God in every beloved, and to refuse to accept anything else about them. And let the Holy Spirit show you how to be in the world in that open, healing place. Compassion. The compassion comes through when the judgment is rejected. Compassion is love. And it comes through when you see others, and you even see yourself through through the heart, through compassion. And that compassion is the expression of your innocence. That you truly are willing to see everyone as untouched by distortion and separation. No more, not willing to have it anymore. The beauty of learning the truth of love and to enter into the transformation of love's healing is to realize and to accept deeper and deeper and deeper that everything I see, I made until I surrender it all. And I'm responsible for everything that I see. And in what I am willing to see, I am either embracing the truth of God or I am in pain and suffering. But I have that choice. And when you realize that you do have this choice, it changes everything. Because the choice is where God's power is embraced. When you choose peace instead of what you think you know, the power of God comes with that. You're pulling on the power of God. There is no cause beyond yourself that can bring oppression. There is nothing in you that needs to prove that you are oppressed. It isn't God's will for you to see yourself as oppressed. That all comes from the mind that says that you are limited and you are without. And you have the abundance of God's love in every moment. To accept that is essential. I could repeat truths till the cows come home, and unless they're accepted, they don't have any power. They do have power because they speak to truth, but they have to be accepted, and then they have to be lived. And that's the beauty of all healing. One day the prisoner felt the wondrous grit of life and found that all wounds and debts were paid. This is the healing. This is a metaphor, but it's the release of all beliefs that you are burdened with anything. To unburden your heart and then to accept the divine. You are unburdening your heart into the divine, in your unburdening of your heart, of all of your ideas, of all of your beliefs of what you think you know. As you surrender that into the hands of God, your entire being is lifted and freed from the burden of the self-concepts of separation. They're heavy. They're a heavy weight that we all carry as we walk in the world. I remember really feeling like I was dragging heavy, heavy suitcases everywhere with me. I felt it energetically, physically. I felt the burden of my perceptions, of my thoughts, of my judgments, of my identity of the past. And to have the teachings open and say, unburden your heart. Give them to me. Give them into the truth of love. Surrender it all. Disown it. Disown everything that you think you knew about. How long, even in the spiritual journey, how many years did it take to make the cause and effect connection just because of resistance, that I could just surrender everything of difficulty into the hands of God and be freed? And it wasn't going to be that there wouldn't be any more chop wood, carry water, but that the heart was open and freed from the perception of seeing chopping wood and carrying water as a punishment of some kind. To give with all of your heart, happily, joyously, gratefully, that's the journey of remembering. And you don't have to worry about your heart opening. The power of God will open your heart completely. It isn't us. Well, I didn't open this heart. I said, yes, please open my heart. Again and again and again until I was willing, truly, truly willing to allow that heart opening. To trust, to put my faith in God that everything could be healed. To accept the teachings that pronounced and announced everything can be healed. And accepting that, okay then, I'm ready. I'm willing. Heal what I cannot heal. And end this incarnation as I have known it in the past. Transform everything till only love is all that's left, because it's all that truly exists. All that truly exists. There is a self-kindness in choosing peace. There is kindness, self-kindness in being glad that you're not right. It's kind. There's a kindness that at the same time is letting go of all the concepts of separation, of an identity, of a past. None of it was real. None of it was true. Thank God. Thank God the suitcases that I was carrying could actually just be let go. Did it feel real to carry weight around of identity? Yeah, it felt really like tons of weight drudging through the world. The power of God is wanting not only your heart, but your healing. There is nothing in the universe of God that wants you to suffer in any way. But we have to not want to suffer. I had to not want to suffer. I had to reject suffering as natural. I believed suffering was natural. It was all that I knew. It was the end result of every situation was suffering. And it was all wrapped up in fear. It was all wrapped up in worry, in distress and confusion. And in that surrender into the hands of God, the confusion leaves, the distress leaves, the sense of burden leaves, the heart opens, freedom is recognized. because it's what and who you are. And you start to hear the birds. You start to hear them because they are one with you. That is your song. When the birds are singing, that is you singing. There's no separation. But all judgment has to be let go because it's a barrier. It doesn't allow you to hear the birds sing. It doesn't allow you to feel the wings of the birds as they fly. That's you too. You are the light of God in all creation. There's nothing of oneness that is not available to you in every way possible. Everyone chooses, but to really choose, to choose love and to choose peace and to reject judgment, that's when sanity starts to return. When you're willing to follow the way of love, in the obedience of love, in the devotion to love, and truly put your faith that God's healing love is yours. Your life does not serve illusion for any purpose other than separation. But your life can serve love because it is love, and it will find its connection because you'll just be swimming in love, meeting love everywhere you go, because there is no difference. No special people here, no people unworthy of over here, all equally the light of God. There's a fear, an ego fear that stays hidden because there's layers and layers and layers of what we've made with the ego when we're in the belief of separation. There's layers and layers of beliefs and strategies, and some hide other ones, and so this is why we have to turn everything over and ask for the illumination to shine its light on all the illusion itself. But there's an illusion that's so strange that there is a fear of not being special. There's a fear of not being more important than others, more elevated in a way. It's the fear of union. It's the fear of being one. And the mind has been so trained to want to prove its worth that it keeps driving that belief with it without actually realizing that can be running. Don't be afraid of union, of unity, of oneness. It is our natural state. All divine beings that you think of, like the Buddha, Jesus, anyone, the Divine Mother, every awakened teacher, there is no one who is elevated except in a very temporary way. This is how the Holy Spirit uses illusion, is to have a temporary recognition that The beloved known as Jesus is leading with the awareness of the totality of love. And in that, when we are in the journey of remembering, we give ourselves to those teachings and to those teachers to lead us, because it's a temporary relationship of being led. But in the truth of our oneness, there are no levels and degrees. You are the light that walks as Jesus. You are the light that lives within the Buddha. You are the light that lives as all divine beings. There are no differences, and there is nothing to achieve. There is a temporary awareness and wholeness that serves those who have not yet said yes or are just now saying yes. But in the truth, it is the divine union of love. The garden of love is waiting for your entry. And the love that we are seeking is in our union, the union of one heart. And in that union, it's essential to see every beloved without judgment, because that's where the union is. It's in love, and it's in the acceptance and the return home into that oneness. Only love. Before you preach to me of your passion for your faith, teach me about it through your compassion for your neighbors. That is the road, the compassion for every beloved, the compassion and kindness and non-judgment. Non-judgment. You may think that a beloved is making a mistake, think that they should do something different, but in truth, we don't know what anybody's journey needs to look like. And it is the compassion and the kindness that holds the light for them and with them. And realize that we don't know. But that if we put them into the hands of God, we are serving their remembering. And we trust in their journey with God and hold them in that divine compassion. A full-time job. Letting go of judgment. And embracing kindness, compassion, and an open heart. Bring your blessings to every beloved. Fill your day with blessings. Bless yourself and bless everyone. The blessing actually is, oh, that's right, I am the light of God. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because love will direct me. And I can be content right here, right now, because love is here with me. I am the light of God. Let that be your heart's song, that you are the light of God. And let that light shine. with compassion and with kindness.